Today we're going to go over interpreting structures of equations and expressions. Our goals for today are to be able to explain vocabulary words such as constant, variable, exponent, coefficient, factor, term, and like term. We're also going to be able to combine like terms by the order of operations, and we're going to be able to explain algebraic expressions. Our first vocab is a constant, and a constant is a single number all on its own. If you want to, a way to remember this, you can think of Beyonce, and she is a constant of the universe, and she also sang Single Ladies. So just remember that constants are single numbers. An example of a constant, my favorite one, is a 1. You can also have some other fun ones, such as 2020 or 42. And all of these are constants because of the fact that they are numbers all on their own, and that they will never change. 1 will always be equal to 1. Our next is a variable, and a variable is a symbol for a number that we don't know yet. They are also called the unknown. Some common variables that you've probably been exposed to are x and y, but you may have also seen z. We have just an assortment of things that we can use, including like stars and hearts. So it's a symbol for something that we don't know yet. An exponent tells you how many times a number is multiplied by itself. It's also known as a power. For example, 5 cubed is actually 5 times 5 times 5. Now this is just mathematical shorthand. A quick refresher is that when we're adding things, like we have these lines down here, we have a line of 3 units and a line of 2 units. When we add them together, we get a line of 5 units. We have a rectangle here, and it has a width of 2 units and a length of 3 units. When we add these together, we are going to have an area of 6. Here's a square, and we have sides of x on both sides, and so it's an x times x, and the area of that is going to be x squared. And for this cube, if we have x's on all 3 sides, that means it's going to be x times x times x with a volume of x cubed. Remember this for like terms. We also have that a coefficient is a number multiplied into a variable. Now, for example, we have 3x. Our variable here is our x, and our coefficient is 3 because it is the number being multiplied into the variable. We need to remember this because we'll be using this when we add and subtract like terms. Take a moment. We're going to do a quick check right here. So we're going to have you take a moment and name the highlighted part of each example. You'll notice that some of these are starred. These are the ones that are core practice problems. These are the ones that I really want you to focus on. The others are just extra practice that I would obviously encourage you to do, but I'm not requiring or even highly recommending. So let's take a look at number A. Here you have 3 plus z is equal to 7. Remember, we're not trying to solve it. We just want to name the highlighted part of each example. The highlighted part in this one is the z, and so we can say that the best example of this is that it would be a variable. I'll give you a few minutes. I'll let you pause and take a few moments to work these out. Our next vocab term is a factor, and a factor is the numbers or expressions that multiply together to make the term. For example, let's do negative x squared. The factors of this, the most obvious ones, are going to be minus 4 and x squared. You can also factor it as here we're going to do minus negative 4x and x. Because when we multiply these ones together, what's going to happen is we're going to have the original number that we had. So a factor are the numbers or expressions that multiply together to make the term. It's also going to be our favorite 6-letter F word, so we're going to use factoring a lot in this class. A term is a single number, a variable, or a number times a variable. So if we're talking about in our sentence that is math, let's do 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Each one of these terms is going to be our words, and the adding and subtracting is going to be our verbs. So a term is just the things that are separated by the addition and subtraction. These are the nouns of our sentence. And so they're the single numbers, the variables, or a number times a variable. Like terms are terms that are similar to each other. In order for them to be similar to each other, they have to have the same variable and the same power. 3x and 7x are like terms because they have the same variable and they have the same power, that power being 1. Here's a counterexample. Let's do 3x and 7y. Now this is a good counterexample because x's and y's are different from each other. Just like apples and oranges are different from each other, you can't add them without just saying 3 apples and 7 oranges, just like you can't add x's and y's without saying 3 x's and 7 y's. And an algebraic expression is just a math sentence. It's how we use to model the things of our outside world. We're using numbers and variables to explain ideas. We're going to take another moment for a quick check. Again, we're going to just have you name the highlighted part of each example, and I'm going to give you I'm going to let you pause and have some time to do that.